We first started talking about C major 7, C7, C minor 7, C minor 7 flat 5, and when we got to that chord we called it an E flat minor 6 with a 6 in the bass. Well, we could do that with a major 7 chord too. The third of the chord can be the root. So we got E minor 6 with a 6 in the bass. When we get to the C minor 7, the E flat major triad with a 6 in the bass. Then we already know about the minor 7 flat 5 is the E flat minor 6. It's like, let's move some of these other tones and see what's close to us. And so we're going to first look at the 5. I can go C major 7, I can go C major 7 flat 5, and then get to my A minor 7, or any other chord for that matter, just for that one moment. We can think about that with the scale too. C major 7, let's look at the sharp 5. My 5 is on the 2nd string, and we know that because we studied that in the other chord exercises. So we're going to raise it. And then that makes me want to move to the D minor 7 maybe, or E minor 7. You know? We can take it further from there. But we want to be able to, when we see the chord, or if we want to add a chord in the measure, if we're playing with a, as a duet with a bass player or by ourselves, that kind of thing, how can we embellish our chords for musicality? So we have, let's look at major 7 sharp 5, and we're going to learn that out with a root on every string. A C major 7 with a root on the 5th string. Find the 5, it's on the D string, raise it up. Listen to how pretty that is. Okay. Now we've got root on the D string, and our G, which we're raising to G sharp, is kind of hard to get to. We'd have to bar, and then our pinky has to get to that 13th fret. So a good way around this, because that's just hard to play, man. I mean, unless you got one of those those ring fingers that collapses, then that's the chord for you, but not for me, man. I don't have that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this note C and put it over here so I can execute the chord properly and have an E major triad over C. Now I'm muting the D string on purpose. I'm also muting the low E string on purpose, because any time that you play the guitar when you're not playing those other strings, mute them. So here's I'm hitting all 6 strings, and I can hear that percussive quality in the chord too if I want to or not. Okay, so now it's also E major with a flat 6 in the bass, right? But we don't call it that. It's better just to say C major 7 sharp 5. We got C major here. Now this is a very nice one. Listen to the quality here. Ah, that's a pretty beautiful chord. So you have this G sharp to C is a major triad, a major third, and then C to E. So we've got G sharp augmented chord with the note B up on top. Okay, so from here to here is a 5th, but we've got, you can hear that quality. Very pretty, man. Now we're talking. So from C major 7 to C major 7 sharp 5. Okay. All right, very nice. Now let's go to the C major 7 here with a root on the 2nd string, and we've got this Holdsworthian sound. Oh man, that's fusion. That'd be a nice volume swell. Let's see what that sounds like as a volume swell with some nice reverb, and maybe up here, up high, with the volume swell. Yeah, that distance between the B and the E, that G sharp up there, wow, it sounds crazy. The last one with a root on string number 1, we've got an E major triad. We use as a small bar. In other words, we've got, with 2 fingers, we're going to mash down 3 strings. The right hand palm can mute strings 5 and 6. And we've got that E major triad with C up on top. Okay, that's very nice. Let's move on. Let's flat the 5 instead of sharp the 5. Major 7 chords with a flat 5 are more commonly known as major 7 sharp 11. Sounds real static and can move anywhere. Listen to how that goes. We can do any song we want. I can make a rhythm. Bum, dun, 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 dun. Okay? So I'm going to go. Nice to write fusion. Very fun. All right, so we got C major 7 sharp 11 with a root on the 6th string. Now you can go through the cycle of fourths, cycle of fifths, cycle of minor thirds. Let's try a cycle of minor thirds. Going to move it up 4 frets. G flat. Okay, very nice. All right, another way to practice. So let's look at C major 7, and we've got our... This is a nice voicing because we're going to flat the 5. It feels really comfortable. Sounds really nice. Maybe even the middle pickup. Middle pickup. This one right here in the middle. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so let's go back to C major 7. Flat 5, okay, or sharp 11. C major 7, sharp 11. Just call it sharp 11. And then the root on the 3rd string. Now this one is really cool. It sounds like a minor 7 flat 5 with the 11 up on top. Okay, here's my C, my E, my G flat, which is our F sharp, and then a B natural. Now if I drop that 4, put an A in the bass, sounds real pretty. Listen to this. Now we're experimenting with, wow, man, what else can we do with these extensions and alterations, and how can it be employed? All right, so with the root now on the 2nd string, tells you where to go, C major 7, sharp 11. We've got the C major 7 right here. We look for the note G, and then we end up lowering it. Then we have that tension as well. Let's look at the major 7, and lowering the 3rd is all we got to do. Okay, so we took the 5, we raised it. We took the 5, we lowered it. Let's look at the 3. We're going to take the 3 and we're going to lower it. So now we've got minor major 7. C minor major 7. The note is E flat, C, E flat, G, B natural. Nice, nice, nice. C minor major 7 with a root on the D string, C, G, B, E flat. Okay, C minor major 7, get to know it really well. Remember, minor thirds, that's a good one. Let's do this one a couple times. So it's C minor major 7. Now this extension, okay, with the pinky. Okay, now we're going to go to the minor third above C is E flat. Okay, a minor third above E flat is G flat. A minor third above G flat is A. Makes him want to drop down a whole step. That's in a Holdsworth. Okay, but anyway, got C major 7, just look for the 3rd. Now look at that. That reveals a C minor triad with the 7th in the bass. Now it all makes sense, doesn't it? Major 7 in the bass. Now we can really hear, something. We're going to take the C7 chord, and we're going to raise the 3rd. Let's go the opposite direction. Now this one, you would just have a big old C7sus resolve, a C7sus, and it goes back down to that. I don't like to double the 5. I don't like, well, a lot of jazz musicians or any kind of fusion or any kind of player that knows their chords well, that we don't like to double chords. In gospel, we double chords. We double, chord tones, to beef up things, but there's a place to do it and a place not to do it. So be aware of if you are or not is probably the issue, and if you need to. So here I don't need to. So I'm going to go to play it that way. Now let's play the root on the A string, C7. Here's our C7. We'll find the 3rd of the chord, which is on the 2nd string, and just bring it up. Now the movement just makes us to go down a half step. So sus, resolve, 7 sus, resolve. Okay. there we go. Didn't hear the flat 7 in that one, but let's try it again. What kind of voicing here we got? Now it's nice and full. C7 here with the sus. C7sus, okay, with the root on the D string. C7sus with the root 3rd string. Okay, so we have to have the note F. Now here, man, this is like this is nice. This is also called a GQ3. In other words, chordal harmony. Bill Evans used to do this a lot. Jazz pianist. G to C is a 4th, C to F is a 4th, and F to B flat is a 4th. GQ3. Bill Evans uses chordal harmony in an album with Miles Davis called Kind of Blue, and it's called the So What chord. Bass E, A, D, G, and then there's a B on top. Fourth's really cool, man. Very hip. Okay, here's my root, here's my 3rd, brought up a half step to the sus, 5, and then the flat 7. So, okay, nice one. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and so we went over C major 7 sharp 5, C major 7 flat 5, and we also raised and lowered the 3rd, making C minor major 7 and C7sus. And yeah, that brings us up to about 1,008 chords with the previous major 7, 7, minor 7 flat 5 study. And remember, you can go when you have, you know, experiment with what's the name of the chord if I name it from the 3rd, you know. Ask yourself some theory questions there. And is it logical to name it that way? Okay, and what scale also can go with it? Play that scale, goes with that chord. Put it on a looper, experiment with that. Some other ideas. Also, instead of practicing chromatically or perfect fourths, cycle of perfect fourths or cycle of perfect fifths, there's a cycle of minor thirds. You don't do as much, and if you understand the chord that that well, to go back around. So if we did the cycle of fourths, in other words, from F to A flat to B to D, then it starts over again with F. Okay, so you just get to do it a couple. Do 1, 2, 3, 4 different chords and get the idea of how it sounds. And it's a good jam too, to take a lead, and then when you're going to go up again, just go up a minor third and then jam that out. All right, guys, take care, and I hope to see you on the next journey. And we're going to go through some more chords on this series. All right, take it easy. Peace.